It's the Sunday Spread with Super Bowl champion Barrett Brooks, Devin Caney, and your host, Sean Bell. Presented by BetMGM.
Welcome back to the Sunday Spread, and once again presented by BetMGM, the show where there's going to be arguments. Before we started the show, we talked about villains versus heroes, and now I am the hero of the show, and Devin Caney is the villain of the show. So we already decided that. No need to say anything, Devin. No need to say anything. Barry Brooks, am I right? Sean Bell.
Not true.
That's the reason Devin's home right now, right? Because she's the villain.
They tried to censor me. They turned my mic off. I tried to defend myself and say, no, I'm the hero. See, it's a very villain thing to do. They muted me. They silenced my voice.
You needed to be muted because you got the cooties. All right, that's why Devin Caney is home right now. Remember that, the cooties? You got the cooties.
I do have cooties. I do have cooties right now.
And that's the worst too. I'm so glad you said, you know what, I'm gonna be a great friend to both of you, and you stayed home. That just means a lot to me.
I prefer for her to come in, get me sick, so I can go home, tell my wife sick, so I don't have to take care of the kids. Right? Like that's a villain type of brain. Right. That's what I would have preferred happen.
That's somebody trying to take over the world. See,
here we are, me being healthy and having to take care of kids when I get out of here. It's unfortunate. Again, it's the Sunday Spread. Kenny Anderson, Dylan Mitchell with us as always. Instantly AA tournament to talk about. Again, brackets everywhere. But of course, we always start off with the main plate, which is football. And again, a lot of people getting bags.
Yeah.
And a lot of rules potentially being changed. Let's start off with the first rule change. The Lions, they proposed to the NFL, hey,
love it.
Let's change this thing when you go to the playoffs at 7-9 and you get a home game. That's what they want to change. They want to change the seating. They want to change. If you win the division, that doesn't mean that you get to have a home game. That doesn't mean you get the 4th seed. They want to make sure that it's seeded by record, not opposed to the division and you winning a division, even if it's 7-9. I covered a team that went 7-8-1 down in Carolina that got to host the game. Devin, I'll start with you. We already heard Barrett say he loves it. Devin, do you love that new rule? Potential rule.
So my initial thought was, like the video of the girl like tries kombucha and she's like, no, well, maybe. Like that's exactly what my thought process was.
Wait, what video was that?
Kombucha girl, YouTube it. I don't know. It's kind of old.
No, I actually think I know what you're saying, but I didn't know that was about kombucha. The gif where she's like,
yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know what that was from. My bad.
Yeah. I just call her kombucha girl. So that was my exact reaction where I was like, no. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, yeah, I think that could benefit some teams, but the killer for me is it kind of takes away any sort of importance of winning your division. Like if you're just going off of record, then what does winning your division really do for you if you're a team? Like how do you make sure that stays something that teams strive for versus, winning the most amount of games possible? Like I think it could have a larger impact on play and the league as a whole than anyone expects. And then it all just also really comes down to strength of schedule. Like if you have a really hard schedule versus a team that maybe has a breezy schedule, so they have an incredible record, and then you face, like, look at the Detroit Lions this past season. I mean, they lost to the Washington Commanders, who had nowhere near as good of a record as them. So I don't know. I like it, but I just think it would change things up a little bit too much. I can't see the league voting for this to pass.
I'm gonna tell you why I like it. In fact, I love it because I think it's winning your division at least guarantees you a spot in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like you still be in the playoffs. But I really think they need to shake it up and realign after that. After you make it to the playoffs. I think that's the biggest thing because it's just not fair that the team that really sucks that's in a sucky division to have them play on a sucky field because, you want a division that's terrible. And you got a team coming in. I mean, it sometimes, that being home is a decided advantage to a team that doesn't deserve that being at home. That's all I'm saying. I just don't like that. Especially with, the NFC South. They're just a bad division.
I know that's so when I was first thinking of the two, the AFC and NFC South, right? Like when you guys say those are the worst divisions. So this past season, it was what, the Bucks from the NFC South?
Yep.
Who from the AFC South made it in?
Oh man, was it
the Texans?
It was the Texans, yeah.
Texans.
Yeah, they played.
And like
Kansas
both
City.
of them came out and had decent first games. I don't know. Like Kenny, our producer, I see you're saying like winning the division gets you in the playoffs, but then if you're reseeding, like if you have a good record, you're going to make the playoffs anyways. Do you see what I'm saying? I just don't. I don't know. I think
I didn't think about it that way.
I mean, the major thing th're trying to avoid is the 7-9, 7-8-1s getting home games, right? Like it's just it'd be one thing, right? Like this year, Tampa. Okay, you have above 500 record. You won 10 games. You would have got in regardless, so why change it? But it's the odd years of, again, I covered a team that was 7-8-1 with Cam. And it's just like, And again, sometimes those teams win games. The 7-9 Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch went crazy against the Saints, I believe it was, in the first playoff games, and they won a game. And again, they won it because they were at home. They were in their comfort zone.
And Marshawn was just
So I get
nuts.
it. It's tough.
Yeah.
The rule of thumb normally is you don't change rules based off of extremes, based off outliers, right? Like you have rules for the majority. So a part of me says because of that general rule, you should keep it how it is. Don't change the conference. But at the same time, those outliers are a little too frequent for me, right? So it's almost like I would like to see a rule is like, hey, you got to at least win 10 games to get a home game. Like something quirky like that just to eliminate the 7-9 team from getting a home game. And again, they'll never do that, but I would like just a small little, you know what I mean?
Incentive.
Exception rule.
Yeah.
Right? An exception rule to this rule to sort of make sure a 7-9, 7-8-1 team doesn't get a home game. That's the only part that seems unfair. And it happens, I want to say, every like 4 years. When it's either the NFC North or the NFC South does something stupid. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's the tough thing. The other rule change that happened a couple weeks ago that we haven't talked about, I want to touch upon this real quick, is what everyone in Philly is talking about, how they're trying to ban the push-tush, how Green Bay put in a proposal to ban the tush-push. And I would just like to say this. While I hate the tush-push, I'm against it being banned. I'm pro Green Bay trying to get it banned, though.
Now, why?
Because if I'm a competitor...
Because he's a villain.
If I'm hear me out. If I'm a competitor and one particular team has something that I can't stop, you damn right I'm going to try to ban it. I don't forget all of that being fair stuff. Only this team, and I got to face them every year. I guarantee if Green Bay was in the AFC, they wouldn't care, and they wouldn't put the rule in. I'm in NFC. I'm probably going to be good for years to come. I'm going to at least put a ticket in there. Again, I don't agree that it should be banned, but I agree with the tactic of trying to get it banned anyway, because why not? It's like if someone had a Calvin Johnson, let's say someone had Giannis, and they kept throwing fade routes to the corner. Guess what I'm going to do? Hey, we got to ban fade routes, guys.
Right.
Let me just see if someone will bite. That's, again, I agree with Green Bay attempting to do it, Devin.
I'm not shocked that you agree with Green Bay attempting to do it. Like, I just think it's crazy that it's so blatantly teams that have been unable to either execute it themselves or stop it. And they're claiming player safety. Guess what? No players ever been injured doing the tush push. This past season, there were no injuries from it. It's because teams are upset that they can't replicate it, and that when they face teams that are able to successfully do it, they can't. We saw the Bills attempt to use the tush push, and it didn't work for them. Whether people think it was actually a first down or not, it didn't work for them. I think, like, if you really break it down, and I understand why, if I'm like Nick Sirianni and the Eagles, I'm really frustrated by this because it's now come up, year after year since they've been really implementing and using the tush push successfully. And it's like if we were to say, okay, Josh Allen, we're going to make, scrambling for a first down illegal. Like, it's literally just a team strain.
Example. Perfect
and
example.
If teams are upset and they think that, it's not a fair play, then learn how to stop it. That's the solution. Then improve your defense, work on specifically stopping that play if it's that big of an issue. But trying to ban it and saying that it's a safety issue is just not true. It's just false.
Yeah, there's no information on that.
No one cares. That's the point. I don't care if it's true
Well,
or false.
it's
I'm going to try to get banned because why not?
but that's
Y'all not thinking like cutthroat competitors.
right.
Y'all
I
are thinking
understand
about
that.
Eagles. Y'all think about Eagles and what they need to do. And again, I agree with y'all. But I'm cutthroat. I'm going to try to ban it. If you're good at something, I don't care if it's legal. I don't care if it's safe. I'm going to try to get some way around it. So yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as draft bigger offensive linemen. Don't be mad at us because we have the biggest offensive line and the best offensive line in the NFL.
I'm just saying.
That's all it is to it.
But try to ban it anyway.
I also like
Have your
one
quarterback
other rule.
squat more. Like
Yeah,
that's
there you
also
go.
a big
There-
part.
that's it right
Jalen
there.
Hurts can squat
Oh.
like 600 pounds. Have your quarterback
There you
squat
go, right
more.
there.
Oh. Let's move on to contract talk. Bag
Can
talk.
we get one more rule?
Go ahead.
Detroit also has another rule. Can we bring in this playoff system like where, if you're in the playoffs and all of a sudden, you're in, it's time for you to go in and you going down to score during an overtime, then you automatically win. Well, in the playoffs, the other team gets another chance at it. Bring that to the regular season also. I like that. I also agree.
I
with
like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit's gonna, propose that also. So yes, Detroit's they're in their bag right now. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it should be. And I'm gonna throw out another rule since we're talking about rules, and this has to do with college football. I've said this all the time. The college football playoffs, they need to change where the ball starts off.
Oh yeah.
Why does it start off in field goal?
Right.
You should need to get a first down to be in field goal range. I don't like in college football. It's like it starts off at the 30. So if you got a good kicker, you're gonna get a score regardless.
Yep.
I feel like they should start off at the 40 and say, okay, if you get a first down, now you're in field goal range. You need to at least be able to do something to get in field goal range. I guarantee there won't be 8-9 overtime games anymore because now you need to do something in overtime in order to be like, if you have a good field goal kicker, you're already in an advantage.
Yep.
You should have to drive a little bit, not full way, but at least get a first down to put yourself in field goal position. But at the 30 just seems cupcake to me.
That is. Well, if you want to talk about college football, let's go into this rule change. When you enter the portal, there's no such thing really as a portal. When you tell a team, I want to leave your university,
I got a portal rant.
they have what?
I got
48 hours?
Ooh, I got a portal rant
Well, look
later.
at this. They get 48 hours
Ooh.
that the school has to put you into the portal. Well, Wisconsin has a safety that went to Miami, and he was never in the portal and still gets to play next year because there's nothing that says he can't. He said, all right, I don't want to play here at Wisconsin. He tells them I want to get in the portal. They say no because they have revenue sharing. He signed a contract where, the team, with the what is the name, likeness, and NIL deal, that they were getting a piece of that deal. So they didn't want to let him go. What does he do? He unenrolls from Wisconsin, goes to Miami, enrolls there, and now he's a Hurricane instead of a Badger. That made me go, you don't need to even be in the portal to leave. That's absolutely amazing.
I got a portal rant for later on this show. It's okay. It's gonna be clear out. ISO. Go to the corner. Go to the 3-point spots in the corner, Devin Barrett. ISO me right
Wait.
now. I got that later on the show. I'm sorry, Dev.
No. Are you doing it now or are we doing
No,
it
that's later.
later?
That's what's on our mind at
Okay.
the end of the show.
All right.
I was just gonna say I just this morning saw a post about how call sports terms, but especially portal. It sounds so mystical. It's like I'm entering the portal and so and so has entered the portal.
Dr.
It's like
Strange.
Right.
what is it from a girl who doesn't watch sports and just what is this mystical portal we're all entering into and trying to
And that's
leave?
it.
What is
A
going on?
mystical
It's kind of
portal.
true.
It is mystical. It is 100% mystical for some teams because it wins them championships. Let's get the bag talk. The Cincinnati Bengals gave out the bag.
Woo.
It's their wide receivers got paid. Jamar Chase, highest paid non-QB at the time. 4 years, $161 million extension. And T. Higgins. It double it up. T. Higgins gets 4 years, $115. Both of them, again, over $200 million for their two main wide receivers, keeping Joe Burrow happy for a long time. Joe Burrow said, get the deal done, and they got the deal done. But are they still trading Trey Hendrickson? Are they going to lose games 55-56? That's what it seems like. That's Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't know.
Devin, what's your thoughts when you found out about those contracts?
Thank goodness Howie Roseman was smart enough to sign Devontae Smith and AJ Brown to their deals
always
before
comes back to the Eagles.
The price went up. I know it always does, but I mean, if you're a team that just paid their receivers, or a team that now has to pay a receiver who you want to keep, like, price just went up because the standard keeps getting higher and higher. Which, by the way, I want to shout out, and it was kind of crazy because I think we were talking about it last week with pay and how, like, when you make as much as these NFL players, especially NFL quarterbacks, like, what difference is an extra 5 to 7 million gonna do? That's what I said. And I think you guys kind of were like, well, I think when you're making that much, obviously, you know, the difference between 13 mil and 27 mil is pretty big. And then, do you see what Josh Allen did? He came out and said, yeah, I don't know. What's another $5 million going to do for me? Like, I don't care. I don't need to be the highest paid quarterback. I just thought it was crazy that happened, like, right after we talked about it on the show.
But again, Josh is on the rec to get $400 million. So $5 million to him is nothing.
No, it is. But that's, like, I think starting quarterback pay is obviously the highest in the league. Like, it's totally different standard, but I really respect him for just being like, what is an extra $5 million? You know, just to say that I'm the highest paid quarterback. Like, I don't care. Because otherwise we have situations like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and they're both, especially Jamar Chase, like, incredible. And they deserve the hefty payday that they got. But man, these price tags are getting super, super high. But Joe Burrow said that he wanted the Bengals to go out and spend, and they spent. They didn't necessarily go out because these guys were already on the team, but they paid their guys.
It's baffling to me, Devin Barry. It's just,
why?
Your defense, like, what have you done defensively? Like, you know, offensively, like, if we're being honest, they could have fared to lose one wide receiver. Not Jamar, but IT, you're fantastic.
Yeah, like, they didn't. Yeah, T. Higgins, they probably didn't need to.
He's tremendous, but let's find another 2 spot if that can get us a major defensive player, right? Like, there's no balance on that team. What have you changed from this year to next year? This is funny because we're in Philadelphia. I talked last night about the Phillies not changing anything, right? And so you're not changing anything. So how do you expect to have different results this year if you didn't change not one singular thing? And I say the same thing with the Cincinnati Bengals. Definition. You haven't changed one single thing. What do you expect to happen next year?
And there's always the same reason that they get out, they get knocked out of the playoffs or knocked out of the Super Bowl. Their bats cool off. It's not pitching. It's not the locker room or guys falling apart. It's just they can't hit at the end of the season.
And that's going to be the Bengals. We can't defend at the end of this once again. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, you know what? I think it's I know I hate to be a homer, but I'm gonna say this. It's just like the Eagles. They paid both of their receivers, but they got them under fair market value. He signs people early, so they don't have to worry about it later on. He sets the market, and then everybody has to jump afterwards. He's got both of his guys locked up. He's not worried about it. And they paid their quarterback. Usually when you pay your quarterback, it's hard to pay anybody else. That's when teams start going down and losing. Howie is done.
We got to take a break. And I know you and Dad mentioned Eagles wide receivers. I'm going to say this. I predicted Saquon was going to get the bag because he was going to demand the bag. But also, don't worry, Eagles fans. You're a year away from A.J. Brown outperforming his contract and saying it's time. It's a year away of him having a big season.
Did that last week. Last year he did.
But that's what I'm saying. He's a year away from, again, being like, you see what them cats getting paid? AJ wants his bread too. And again, he took a little bit of a team-friendly deal, but it wasn't that team-friendly when he took it. AJ's going to be in that.
That was an extension. Actually, he got paid, and then all right, we're going to pay this guy. We're going to pay his partner too.
Yeah. AJ is a year away from being like, hey, yo, check this out, fam. 130 M's is coming my way because I outperformed Jamar Chase last year. So, but it's not just the Philadelphia Eagles. It's everybody else coming up. The Justin Jeffersons, every top wide receiver is going to be like, yeah, I love winning and all that, but pay me.
Yep.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, NCAA tournament, how's y'all brackets doing? All right, again, it's only
What bracket?
It's exactly.
I'm crushed.
We'll see what you can't. There's no way you're that bad already.
I'm always that bad.
All right, we'll talk about some NCAA takes, some NBA takes, and of course we got NFL trivia. That's coming up on the Sunday Spread.
This is the Sunday Spread with Super Bowl champion Barrett Brooks, Devin Caney, and your host, Sean Bell. Presented by BetMGM. Let's get off the sidelines and back into the Sunday Spread with Super Bowl champion Barrett Brooks, Devin Caney, and your host, Sean Bell. Presented by BetMGM.
Welcome back to the Sunday Spread presented by BetMGM. Of course, Devin Caney, Barrett Brooks, Sean Bell kicking it with you. Let's go around the sports world real quick. And March Madness is the sports world right now, everything going on. So we need on record. We didn't do this last week, so we need on record who y'all have winning it all, just so we can make fun of each other and keep each other in check. First of all, Dev, I'll start with you. How's your bracket doing so far, and what's your final four?
Well, so I have multiple brackets, so I'm gonna go with like my like I don't know about you guys.
Throwing money everywhere.
I always have like my main bracket that I research. By research, I mean for like 45 total minutes. And then I have another one that I usually do based off vibes, and then maybe another one for work. So I have two in my like main pool. I also should say, and I'm not, Sean is going to give me so much heat for this, but I weirdly always, like I won my March Madness bracket last year. I won the year before that. I literally have like a gigantic wrestling belt. I always win March Madness. I don't watch college basketball until March. So it makes no sense. So I'm going to see if I can go for another win here today. So my main bracket, hold on, I have Auburn winning. Let me find my final four here.
Of course.
I don't
watch at all, but yet I'm going to win. That makes all the sense in the world.
I mean, does anyone really watch that much?
Hey, listen, I'm not as locked in as I used to be in regards to knowing the 10th, 11th, 12th seeds. I tell you this, last year or 2 years ago, I got into a bracket, a group, an ESPN group with my wife, some of her friends, right? And one of our friends, she picked the bracket and she picked UConn to win. So she won it. She won the whole thing. Did you know she thought she was picking the women's bracket?
No.
She's like, I heard UConn was good, really good. I'm like, you talking about UConn women?
Oh my
Like,
god!
I actually started talking about it. I was like, wait a minute, you talking about Gino? You won. And again, she eventually won the entire thing when she thought, oh, UConn has Gino Auriemma and has all those, you know what I mean, Olympians. I was like, you know what? This is why this thing sucks. And I also came in last place. I came in last place with a bunch of people who never watched, don't know anything about it. What time are the games on? It started already? Like, all right, man, I quit. So, yeah, that's – and again, Deb is at least sports. She knows all sports.
Right.
But to lose to someone who knows no sports, I said, I'm done.
Like you can't even really come home and everybody's at the crib because they're gonna fire off on you, bro.
Come on, man. And like, and you do this for a living?
Right.
If you're going to do that with any school, I think UConn is probably like the best school to mix up because both their men's and women's programs are good. So.
Yeah, I was like, UConn?
Good for her.
Not good for her. All right, she still talks about it to this day. Every year, I'm a guru. All right, man. Shut up. You looked it up, Dev. Who'd you have? You said Auburn. You had Auburn winning it all.
Yes. So this is my like main bracket. I have my final four is Auburn over Maryland and Houston over Oregon, and then Auburn winning.
Okay, I'm not mad at it. Again, Auburn is a sexy pick. Shout out to Bruce Pearl. So,
my other bracket, I have Duke winning it all.
I have Duke winning it all also.
I
only have one bracket, but I had Duke because of Cooper. Yep. Again, he's healthy. Yeah. He's back, so I feel like he's going to be a terror. So I picked Duke. And some of this is, to be honest with you, I don't know all the information on all the teams, right? Like, there's a lot of, I don't know about the 5th seeds, the 8th seeds. Like, I know the top dogs. I've watched y'all play before, so I got Duke. I got Memphis making a run, too, and Michigan State making a run into the Sweet 16, Elite 8, but Duke winning it all. What about you, B Brooks?
I'm like I said, I'm totally out of my bottom bracket, man. I have my final four was going to be Michigan, Missouri. How do you lose to Drake, bro?
You had Michigan and Missouri?
Yes.
What's wrong with you,
bro?
Why would you pick Michigan and Missouri?
Man, I watched a couple of Missouri. I mean, I try to watch a lot of Big 12 action. I went to the Big 8 during the time and Big 12 action, and that's when they ran the Big 8 at the time. So I wanted Missouri and Michigan to be in this, and then at this point they lost to Drake. Come on, man. And then on the other side I had Duke and Tennessee. So, and I had Duke winning it all though. I do have Michigan and Duke, and then Duke.
Okay.
See, I think that the last 2 years, this year especially, I have done well because, well, I don't know if I'm doing well this year or not yet, but like Philly and like my alma mater, Pitt used to be in the tournament every year, like over a decade ago when I was in college. That's not the case anymore. And then here in Philly, like I don't have any like connection to a team that I'm going to write in to win it all. Like I used to pick Villanova no matter what, but Villanova didn't even make the tournament for the third year in a row. So I don't have that like bias messing with my logic right now. So it makes me be able to separate it.
Let me bring a thing that I've been pushing for last couple of weeks that Philadelphia sports in basketball needs to do in general. They need to go to the football HBCU route of I'm just going to hire a coach with clout.
Yeah.
Right? Like you see, again, Deion Sanders obviously doing it at an elite level. You see Michael Vick at Norfolk State. You're seeing Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State. I don't understand why basketball, because I said this about Villanova, what they need to do. Hey, I'm just going to go get a former athlete, big name, that can bring in NIL, that players still love and respect. Right? Like it
makes a lot of sense.
This is the crazy. The person I threw out for Villanova, at first I threw out Kyle Lowry. Makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Used to go when he retires, try to go get Kyle Lowry. Again, he'll be able to get the NIL bag. Yeah. Formerly, yeah, basically. Right? Basically now. Go get Kyle Lowry.
No, half that roster retired, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Half the roster
exactly.
retired.
He's ready. But the wild card I threw out there for Villanova, Gilbert Arenas.
What?
You want to talk about clout? Him having a podcast. First of all the 16, 17-year-olds know who he is, right? So they're like, I'll go play there. He got all his Nick Young and all his celebrity friends that can help with the NIL bag. And on top of that, you talk about Deion Sanders, Elijah Arenas is going to USC, All-American. He also has a younger daughter and a younger son who are hoopers. You hire him and go, all right, bring your kids here because they're going to be All-Americans too. And you got a guy with clout, and you got a guy that you could just bring in and who's going to talk that stuff, be on social media, and then Villanova's instantly popping again. Gilbert Arenas, that's, again, he's a Cali dude. He probably won't do it. But I would like, hey, get some money, get a couple, $3-4 million a year, throw it his way. I'd go Jeff Teague, too.
Jeff Teague.
Clout.
Yeah.
Give me clout. I need somebody 16-year-olds know and laugh at. Give me all them little podcasters.
Oh, you know, like Up and Smoke guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Kenyon Martin.
Yeah.
Get over here.
His son. Ugh.
Right? And if you want to go to women's hoops, Natasha Cloud, who now plays for the Liberties, used to play for St. Joe's. She's a Philly girl. Bring her in to play for St. Joe's. To coach for St. Joe's, excuse me.
You got it.
Kalea Copper, Olympian. Bring her in. Again, she went to Rutgers, but bring her in to coach one of these schools. Y'all agree with me or no?
I do agree with you. I mean, that's what it's about right now. That's what it's about. This younger generation wants to watch everything on social media. If it's not on social media, it's not real. So, I mean, you're right. I mean, you can get a nice little selection of great players just because. And they'll go out to each other. Hey, man, I'm coming here because, man, Gilbert, man, you know, they got that pop. It would be popping real fast, too.
Deb,
really
what
fast.
about you? Is there a name that instantly popped up for you where you were like, oh, that may be something?
Well, Temple tried, though. Temple tried.
Did they?
Aaron
Temple
McKee
did?
didn't have,
McKee.
he didn't have clout, though. Like, nobody, you know what I mean? Like, a good former player, but no kid was like, I want to go there because of Aaron McKee.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a fine line. Like, it's a dangerous line, I guess, to walk with, like, the Deion Sanders, the HBCU football model, because like I think that the guys, like you mentioned, you know, Deshaun Jackson, Deion Sanders, obviously, like, his coaching is effective, and he brings in eyeballs and attention and all of that. But I think you also then have to be careful about, like, every former athlete from, like, Villanova saying, oh, I can coach, and then maybe they can't coach. You know, I think it takes a specific type of person. I don't know Gilbert Arenas aside from his podcast. I don't really listen to it that much. I think I've listened to it like once or twice ever. So I don't know what kind of coach he would be. But like, I agree with that. Like, he would attract younger kids. I like, out of the guys that you said, someone like Kyle Lowry, who is a natural leader. He went there. He played there. He's like a known alum. He's younger though. Like, he still plays in the NBA, but is on the older side. He should retire soon. And I think he has a really high basketball IQ. So, like, I think it just depends on the type of person that you bring in. But, honestly, I never really thought Kyle Lowry. I think that would be a really good get. But last I heard, Villanova is looking at a few of the coaches from who are still in the tournament right now. So, like, that's another kind of clout-chasing move of, you know, go after a coach that is leaving their program once the NCAA tournament this year is over, and grab the biggest name you can. Like, someone tied them to the head coach of McNeese. What's his name?
Ball.
Wade.
And we gonna get to that because he accepted a job at NC State.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
What about AI? Somebody like AI going there.
AI don't want to do that.
I'm just saying, you know, we said
it'd be great, but AI, you know, he ain't locked in.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, AI, I don't even think would want to do that, first of all. But like, I think you need someone who like wants to be a leader and like wants to coach, not just like a big name to have a big name.
I didn't know Delta State. I mean, come on now.
I mean, who knew? Again, apparently Deshaun, and they reached out to him, and Deshaun said he didn't even think about coaching.
That's
at
what I'm
this
saying
point in
right now.
time.
Yeah.
But again, I think some of these big names, and to me, Villanova reaching out to some, like, nobody can, like, these schools are torn up by NIL. Like
I believe Jack Potts gonna be a good coach simply because what he says, these kids gonna listen to, man. And if you can get kids to listen, that's it, man.
I agree, but I don't know if he's gonna lock in. Another name I'll throw out there. Hey, Temple, go get Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace has been a coach on the bench for NBA teams.
That's a good look right there.
Go get Sheed, Philadelphia dude. I believe he went to Simon Gratz.
Yep. Went to Gratz, yep.
Go get him. It's just, to me, it makes all the sense in the world.
That's
because
a great get there.
Everybody they get around here transfers. Like Temple has someone who just transferred to I forgot the school's name, but he's still in the tournament. Drexel had Amari Williams who transferred to Kentucky for an NIL bag. Ain't nobody staying here in Philadelphia unless you get one of those big name coaches. Let's switch topics for a second to the NBA. NBA playoffs right around the corner. Teams are revving up. Steph Curry gets a jolt. LeBron James gets a jolt. Both of those guys just got new people, new individuals. So let's take a look at some of the things that you guys may believe in or not believe in. Let me just ask y'all this quick question before we get to trivia. Oklahoma City Thunder, Cleveland Cavaliers. Who do y'all believe in more? Both the number 1 seed, but both aren't really being talked out that much. Who do you believe in more, Dev, out of those two teams that can make a real NBA Finals run?
I think the Thunder are have the highest ceiling and are like the least talked about team. And I know I'm not trying to sound like, oh my God, who was saying it? Was it Chuck on TNT saying
it was Chuck.
That other network only talks about the Lakers and whatever. But it's kind of true. Like I never see anyone talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, and like here and there, I'll see some stuff about like SGA who's playing at an MVP level, but these guys just look like, I think it's rare these days to have fun watching NBA basketball. Like I genuinely think the product that has been out on the court just has not been very entertaining, especially this season. But I have fun watching the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I say that as a Sixers fan who are probably like one of the least fun teams to watch. Like my bar is on the floor here, but I really like this Thunder team. They have great vibes. They're a young, fun group of guys. SGA is playing incredibly well. And like, I think that they've become my kind of, since my team is clearly not going to the playoffs or doing anything else this season besides maybe getting a lottery pick in the draft, the Thunder have become my team that I'm rooting for.
What you think?
I'm gonna go Cleveland, man, just because I think Mitchell, man, he can take him, man. He can put that team on his back and take them wherever they need to go, man. I think right now he's at a point where he's got these guys playing together, man. I mean, I would say them because I have a little more confidence in the Cavs than I do, and especially with them being in the East where it's going to be tougher. I think just because it's tougher than the West right now, that they'll be a little more battle driven going into the playoffs.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't believe in either one. So if I have to pick, I don't. I think they're both regular season teams. I think the Thunder are 2 years away. Where Chet Holmgren, like they don't have a real number 2. Like Chet Holmgren, I think can become that. Still young, coming off of injury. So I think Chet Holmgren eventually becomes a 2 guy to a championship team. I don't think he's there yet, especially because he has injuries early in the season. And I just don't believe in the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got a lot of depth, a lot of talent, but they don't have guys where it's just, hey, go get a bucket. Right? Like, and they have guys who can get a bucket, but in the playoffs, I don't believe they have guys that are greatness that can get buckets no matter who. But I'm going to pick the Thunder over Cleveland just because SGA can be the – again, I don't want to invoke anybody's name because I was about to say a name, like, let's not go there. But he can be that type of superstar, right? Like, he can be that guy. It's like, I can carry this entire thing. So
I'm going to go Thunder over Cleveland.
But that's why, like, the Thunder, it's just so crazy to me that they're not really discussed that much. I'm sure, in their area they are, and maybe even with teams and cities, like, around – the West, but like SGA, I feel like is a player who should be much more of a star than he is already. Like, I think he's recognized for his talent and skill, but not as like, obviously like Jokic has won MVP a million times. So that's not a great comparison, but someone like that, like he's not a household name. I think a casual basketball fan would be like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, I mean, yeah, I think I've heard of him before, but it wouldn't be like an immediate, like, oh yeah, I know. And I think he should be. And I think he has that potential.
You're right. He should be. He should be a guy that's been talked about as an MVP candidate for the past 2 years.
It's so weird because we talk about the next star, right? LeBron and Steph need to retire. And I'm enjoying watching them. They don't need to retire right now. But we're not going to give appreciation to the SGAs and the Jason Tatums of the world. Because people were talking about being the next superstar and what you need to be the next superstar. Those two individuals actually have all the things you need to be a superstar without being called a superstar, right? Like Jason Tatum, everyone downplays, right? So you go, he has a championship. He's been. I
feel like everyone just makes fun of Jason Tatum.
Yeah, and it's so weird because he's the guy who's a pretty boy. He's good looking.
He's from St. Louis. He's my guy.
St. Louis. He also has a superstar R&B singer as his girlfriend. Right? So he has all the components. Like you got the superstar girlfriend.
What's her name?
LMA. You're a pretty boy. You got LMA.
LMA.
They I believe just had a child together. Right? So you have all these things. No superstar. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was in Fashion Week in Paris.
What?
He walked to Fashion Week.
Damn.
So I'm like, these two individuals in any other era would be like, they are our main thing because they have all the little things outside of basketball that you need, but for some reason they're not talked about in that way. It's
not even Giannis though.
They like Jalen, Kenny was like, but the aura, like to me that's aura. Like you're in Fashion Week with supermodels, but you're not the star of the NBA.
So he compared Jason Tatum to Jalen Hurts and yes, but I saw so many memes, especially after the Super Bowl win. Jalen Hurts, like the photo, it's like him with the confetti. It was going around everywhere, and everyone was saying like Jason Tatum wishes this could have been him when he won. Like it's almost like Jason Tatum is like that same pretty boy vibe that Jalen Hurts has, but he does lack the aura and like the.
I don't get it. He should be, but all right, we'll talk about that We'll talk about aura another time. When we come back, we're gonna NFL quiz, facts or cap, and what's on our mind. It's gonna be a quick one, a fast one, and a fun one. We'll be right back.
This is the Sunday Spread with Super Bowl champion Barrett Brooks, Devin Caney, and your host Sean Bell. Presented by BetMGM. Let's get off the sidelines and back into the Sunday spread with Super Bowl champion Barrett Brooks, Devin Caney, and your host, Sean Bell. Presented by BetMGM.
Welcome back to the Sunday spread presented by BetMGM. Devin Caney, upper right. Barrett Brooks, bottom left. Sean Bell, top left of your screen if you are watching. Let's get to it. Let's have fun. Let's get to the NFL quiz. Bring in Kenny Henderson in. Just like to say, I got 2 dubs, and apparently Dylan has 1. Dylan ain't even supposed to be playing, but Dylan got a dub because he made us look silly last week. So as a show, we got to do better this week, guys.
I don't think Dylan's gonna get a win. I'm throwing that out there right now. I don't think these ones are harder. I don't know if that's gonna help you guys or help him. Okay. Let's start.
He's taking that as a challenge.
3 quarterbacks threw for 40 TDs last year. Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson were 2 of them. Who was the other guy?
For 30 TDs.
40.
40 TDs.
40.
Devin, who you got?
Matthew Stafford?
No, it was not Matthew. He didn't play enough games. Well, actually, no, that was the year before. I'm sorry.
What?
He played all season
Yeah.
this year. Not Matthew Stafford. It was the same
quarterback.
conference.
What's his name?
Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
It
Yes.
was not Mr. Jared Goff.
What?
Too many rushing touchdowns on that team between Montgomery and Gibbs for him to throw for 40.
Baker Mayfield?
It was Baker Mayfield, 40-plus touchdown
okay.
passes. Sean's on the board.
That was a good get.
Baker,
That was a good get.
Because I talked about it was a guess. It was obviously a guess. But I talked about all year how Baker Mayfield was having a top 5 QB season. And so that's why I said Baker Mayfield.
But he had 2 of his best receivers were gone. So how do you just make that assumption, man?
Because they pass way more than they run.
Man, come on, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but like if you like forced me to guess, I would have guessed that obviously Stafford I would have thought through more than Baker Mayfield did.
Me too.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, Kyron Williams had a ton of touchdowns for the Rams. That probably took a lot away from Stafford. All right, let's go on to the next question. Which QB had the most 40-plus yard completions?
40-plus yards completions.
Jared
Who's
Goff.
throwing the ball deep? Nope, not Jared Goff. Devin, who you got?
Jalen Hurts.
Devin loves it. No, it was not Jalen Hurts. Devin loves raising her hand.
I do. And I'm always wrong.
Dylan's texting me the answers now, and his answer was wrong. So,
Barry, you got a guess?
Who throws the deep ball to me?
Minnesota's old quarterback. He just went.
It was not Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
It was not Darnold.
All right, we all got it wrong. Just tell us.
It was Lamar Jackson with 14.
He has the most?
Yep.
With what? Zay Flowers?
Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. Yep.
So Bateman had a lot. Yeah,
those wide receivers, I would not have guessed that.
Dylan texted me Joey B, who was second on that list. Joe Burrow was second on that list. All right, third question. Brock Bowers led all tight ends. Sean's favorite guy. Brock Bowers led all tight ends in receptions as a rookie with 112. Which tight end finished second in receptions?
As a rookie?
So only tight ends.
Tight end, period.
Just tight ends.
Wait, with receptions or receiving yards?
Receptions. Dylan got it right. I'm not going to say who it is, but he got it right.
He cheated somehow.
Barrett, I know you like this guy because you like this team. They let you down a little bit, though.
Oh, they let me down a lot. I mean, it has
Pat Fryermuth?
Oh,
he used to be with Dallas, right?
No,
he's always oh, shoot. I just gave the team away.
Trey McBride.
Like
I said,
Trey McBride was second.
When does Barrett like the Cardinals?
I was like the Cardinals all.
He kept saying during the season,
McBride,
Arizona Cardinals are going to be a good team. They're going to be a good team, and Trey McBride was a hidden gem when it came to making money.
Yeah.
They were 6-4. They were 6-4 at one point. So to give Barrett credit, they were rolling. Then they hit the bye. They went on a little bit of a skid, but
that when
he
you
wasn't
said a
completely-
team that he likes, I'm like, okay, well, it's not the Eagles, so the Steelers. And I'm like, Pat Fryman.
Oh, okay. I see.
Trey McBride.
All right, last two here. Which AFC West team had the best point differential? So there can only be 4 answers.
AFC West team?
Chargers.
Nope.
Oh.
Seattle.
Seattle's in the NFC now.
AFC
I know they
West.
used to be in the AFC.
All right, your turn, Dev.
AFC West.
Oh, AFC West. I'm sorry. AFC West.
Best
Is that
point
what you said,
differential in the AFC West.
No, I know.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious now.
The Broncos.
It was the Broncos. Yeah. I mean, everyone would assume it's the Chiefs, though, right? That's why that's kind of a trick
No,
question.
because they
I mean,
won
No, not
every
the-
game by
yeah.
like 1 point.
I knew it wasn't the Chiefs.
Yeah, but
So I knew it was
they
either.
still went 15-2. So
yeah, but it was
it's hard to
everything
go
was like 4 points.
15-2. Yeah, I mean, Denver had 40 more points in point differential than the Chiefs and lost 5 less games. I mean, that's a crazy stat right there. So, last one, Devin's on the board, Sean's on the board. So, I guess this is the tiebreaker. Who
Nah,
was
I got
the only
two.
NFL
I got 2.
Oh, you got 2?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I had Trey McBride, and I had the first question.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Oh, right.
All right. Last question. Who was the only NFL team to go undefeated versus their division last year? 6-0.
Lions.
Yep, it was the Lions. Wow, Sean, nice snipe there. You would have thought with how good that division was, it would have been impossible for them to win all 6 games, but they were the only NFL team to do it. So that'll wrap up this week's trivia. You guys are going to, I mean, Sean might be the hero and Devin might be the villain
No.
now. I think we've decided based off this trivia.
Please.
But you got
Wait,
the Super Bowl win.
speaking of
You got the
villain,
Super Bowl
you
win.
will-
So you
I'll always have
Yeah.
that. On the WIP morning show this morning, one of the co-hosts is John Ritchie, is a former Eagles player, and we were talking about the biggest threat in the NFC to the Eagles next season, and out of nowhere, he's like the Bears. And we're like, what? Why? He's like, the Bears are going to be legit next season. And I just thought you'd appreciate that, Kenny.
That is my Arizona.
producers, you know.
That's not. I don't want
Love
people to say that though, because as soon as people say the Bears are going to be good, they're going to be worse than people expect.
Yeah, John needs a nap.
I think they'll be better, but like the biggest threat in the NFC, I don't know if I'm going to go that
Yeah,
far.
that's pretty
yet.
crazy.
They're
John
better.
needs a nap. Let's get to one quick factor cap before we get to what's on our mind. My factor cap: baseball season next week, right around the corner. Major League Baseball should reduce the amount of games they play. Facts or cap?
I think it's cap.
Am I going first?
Well, Barrett's answer first. You think it's cap? They don't need to reduce the game.
They don't need to reduce the game. They don't play. I don't think that they should do that because, number one, that's a long season, and they're the boys of summer, and it works out perfect. That's the only thing that bridges me during that entire summer to the NFL, man. You know what I'm saying? It gets me back into the NFL. If they have shorter season, then that means I don't get enough games to kind of bridge and get me back to my NFL football season. So
Okay.
that's just me being.
You say cap. What do you say, Dev?
I think cap. I think that I love that, starting from early spring through summer through hopefully early fall, we get to watch baseball every single day. And I think like that's what makes baseball so special, is that
Yep.
you really feel like bonded with your team when you're watching them every single day. And it's also why it's so heartbreaking when they get knocked out of the playoffs too early. But we won't go down that road. But I'm fine with the amount of games. Now, if you ask me about the NHL or the NBA, I would say absolutely they should limit the amount of games.
See, Kenny, I'm gonna let you go in a second, but baseball doesn't need to be played in the cold. Why is and also it's why is baseball being played in November? Why is the World Series in November?
Amazing. Have you ever been to a baseball game in November? It's the best.
No, yes, that's if your team is in the World Series.
I
White
hate baseball.
chill
when
in
it's
but
there.
in general,
105 degrees and
it's
you're sweating.
it's trash. You had games being threatened by snow, right? Like if you got the Yankees and 2 cold teams, nobody wants to see that, and nobody wants to see games right now when it can potentially be 45 degrees in certain areas and in snowstorms in certain areas. No, Baseball is a summer sport. May and let it end in October. Again, October baseball is no longer October baseball. It's now in November, right? Like, let it be from May to October. Cut it 30 games.
Opening day on my
birthday. It should be always only in the summer and then end. It used to end the first week of October. See, y'all don't remember that. I'm going to be old. It used to end the first week of October. Now it's the first week of November. I can't do it. Kenny, I know you want to say something real quick. What do you say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this is completely fact, and I think that the MLB also, with the Tokyo series that they just had that started at 5 a.m. for all of us Americans, like, yes, I know it's a worldwide sport, but there's no reason why opening day should be, like, I know opening day is coming up here, but the Cubs and Dodgers played regular season baseball games in Tokyo at 5 a.m. America time the other day. That's something that's unacceptable, and part of that is because the season is so long, so they're trying to get more viewership. And in result, they're just failing because
Bless you.
All their ideas are coming.
She's sneezing at your take. That's why she's the villain.
Sorry.
That's why she's the villain of the show, Kenny.
No, but that series was insane. I just they shouldn't even include that in the regular season record.
And then they went back to playing
exhibition.
And then they went back to playing a spring training game, by the way.
Right.
They have a spring training game on the 23rd. What are we doing here? All right, with 2 minutes left.
They're doing way too much. They just need to cut the schedule.
2 minutes left. Dev, Barrett, you got 30 seconds for your what's on your mind. Barrett, I'll start with you. What's on your mind?
I think college football players should have carte blanche to do what NBA players get. Yes, you have to stay 1 year in college, but after that 1 year in college, allow these young men to go out there and get the bag. That's why they're going. They're already getting paid with these NIL deals. Just go ahead and let them just go ahead and separate themselves and go to the NFL, man. Forget making them play 3 years. That doesn't make sense. You might get hurt. It's the most physical sport we have. They get hurt in that 3 years. I'm going to be real mad. So, yeah, I think they should play 1 year and then they'd be able to go into the NFL.
Okay, Dev, you're 30.
So I'm just going to piggyback off what we were just talking about. Sean, you think that the MLB should be a shorter season. Baseball doesn't belong in November. I strongly disagree, but I will agree with you on NHL hockey seasons being way too long. I need to blow my nose so someone else can go.
I'll say this real quick.
I'm about to sneeze. So I was like, oh no.
The transfer portal needs to stop. Zach Spiker, head coach of Drexel, informed me of this a while ago, and it's like this across all college sports. You can transfer at the Sweet 16, right? So if you're in the Sweet 16 as an NCAA basketball team, you can transfer. That's a problem, right? Like,
you can't play at that team you go to.
No, you can't play with the team you go to, but you can leave the team that you're already on.
All right,
right? Just like Penn State had to play a playoff game without their backup quarterback. What if because he's transferring?
Yeah, after November 4th.
There should be no transferring, none, zero, zilch until the season's over. That's when the portal should begin. You shouldn't be and same with coaches. Will Wade is coaching McNeese State and already accepted a job at NC State. You just won a game. Now you're still coaching? No, none of that movement should happen until the season is officially over. It's messing with teams. We only got 5 seconds left. Can you come back in for a second, Dev? Is before you sneeze?
Yeah, I'm here, but I just think that NHL season is way too long. Hockey shouldn't be played in June. Like, that's crazy. What are we doing? Talking about sports staying seasonal? Like, I think hockey season should be over now. It should end like the end of March. It has no business being played once it gets above 70 degrees in most places.
I agree with that. Big facts. Yeah, it's been a wrap. You heard what we had to say. Continue to have fun. Continue to make money. And have a good weekend. Devin Caney, Barry Brooks, Sean Bell. This was the Sunday Spread.
The Sunday Spread with Super Bowl champion Barrett Brooks, Devin Caney, and your host, Sean Bell. Presented by BetMGM.